Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. I am back today with another short black fact. Now, before I get started, I want to say this. The individual that I read about the last couple of days thoroughly enjoyed his information. Had never heard of him a day in my life. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this information as much as I did. All right, so let's get to it. Now, the information, it comes from my Lewis Haber, Black Pioneers of Science and Inventions book. Now, the individual that I wanted to talk about today, his name is Lewis Howard Latimer. He was born September the 4th, September the 4th, 1848 in Chelsea, Massachusetts. At the age of 16, Latimer ran away to join the Union Navy to help abolish slavery. Now, after his honorable discharge in 1865, which was the year that the Civil War ended, he returned to Boston to seek employment. Now, Latimer had a talent for drawing and loved to paint. He began working at Crosby and Gould, who were patent solicitors. Now, they were looking for individuals that could draw. So, after he started working with them, his drawings were so detailed and so good that eventually he became the chief draftsman for about 11 years for the company. Now, right next to where Latimer was employed, there was a school that Alexander Graham Bell ran. Now, that school is where he taught the deaf and mute individuals, right? Right. While he was teaching them, he was trying to come up with a device to help deaf people hear, which led to the invention of the telephone. That's right, led to the invention of the telephone. Now, Alexander Graham Bell hired Latimer to do all of the drawing because when you do patents, you have to have drawings to go along with the patent process. The drawings are basically there to detail how the invention that you're doing, how is it going to work, right? So he hired Latimer to do all the drawing. The patent was issued in 1876. That right there, we all knew that Alexander Graham Bell, we all knew that he invented the telephone, but just to know that, Lewis Latimer was there with that process, for me, I was just like, wow, okay, all right, definitely didn't know that. Now, Latimer was hired as a draftsman in 1880 by Hiram Maxim. He was a chief engineer for the United States Electric Lighting Company. Now, the year before, in 1879, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. That's right. Now, he invented the incandescent lamp. Now, Latimer began studying all aspects of electricity. Now, his experiments resulted in the improvement of the incandescent lamp. For example, Thomas Edison light bulb used a carbonized bamboo filament that burned out quickly. So Latimer, he ended up not using the bamboo filament. The material that he used was made from a fibrous or textile material, which resulted in the light bulb lasting a very long time. And that actually made it more affordable for the average person. So that was an improvement that he did to Thomas Edison's invention. That's something that we just do not know about. I thought that was kind of mind-blowing. Latimer he's also accredited with developing a wooden threaded socket to hold the actual bulb in place, which made it safer and more effective for the installation process. The thread that we use today, right? When we screw the bulb in, he was the first one to do that, but his was wooden. Now that socket is in the Washington Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. Latimer was called upon to install some of Maxim's first incandescent electric light plants in New York City, the Equitable Building, the Union League Club of New York City. He was called to Philadelphia to help start up some plants there. He was called to Canada to help start up some plants there. He was called all the way to London to help start up some incandescent electric light plants. This is the information that we just don't even hear about, right? Wow. Now, eventually, in 1884, Thomas Edison asked Latimer to become an associate with the engineering department of the Edison's Electric Light Company. Now, in 1890, he was transferred to the legal department where he defended Edison's patents in court. There, he served as an expert witness, saving the company millions of dollars. What I've learned from just reading this information is, we have contributed so much to this country. The trials and tribulations, the ancestors making the Middle Passage all the way here, surviving those inhumane conditions, and they just wasn't regular old slaves. They were doctors, they were builders, they were chiefs, they was priestess, and they made it here. And now we're here. We have contributed so much to this country. Even now that now that they've made it here, time has passed. We are African Americans, or however you want to identify. We've contributed so much to this country. Slavery, the black laws, Jim Crow, the civil rights era. And we're still here, and we're still contributing to this country. And it just makes me realize that, when it comes to our history, I say this all the time, it is up to us to learn this because they are not going to put this out. Last but not least, just a quick FYI, the Thomas Edison Electric Light Company later became General Electric that we know today. Latimer wrote the standard book on electric lighting in 1890. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this information because I most certainly did. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. This is our history. This is our information. No one is going to teach us this. They're not going to teach you this in elementary. They're not going to teach you this in high school, junior high, college. I certainly didn't see it in college. I went to Temple and Central Texas College. But this is our history. It is up to us to learn. It is up to us to teach our kids. You guys have a nice day. And remember, if you like this information, please like, share, subscribe for more information. And do not forget to hit that notification button. You guys have a nice day.